Hi guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing one of my favorite videos to film for you guys. I did another full face of first impressions, and I'm very excited to share with you guys some of these products in today's video. We have a mixture of high-end makeup and drugstore makeup. We have some Charlotte Tilbury, UOMA Beauty, ColourPop, ALAMAR Cosmetics, Laura Mercier, Patrick Ta, Dose of Colors. If you're interested to see how I came up with this beautiful look, by the way, I've had this makeup on for 7 hours now, and this is how good it looks. Just know you're in for a treat. Anyways, if that sounds like something that is up your alley, then make sure to keep on watching. But before we go any further, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. Start with the eyebrows. Excuse the glitter all over my eyelids. It's from the makeup that I wore yesterday. Anyways, we do have a new brow pencil today, and this is on the higher end side of makeup. Today I'm going to be using the Hourglass Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil. It is dual-ended, so you get your product on one side and then a spoolie on the other, which is always my favorite. I feel like it's so convenient. Ooh, and this is kind of different. So the shape of this is not like a traditional circle shape. It's more of an oval shape. And I always use my brow pencil to outline the shape of my brow that I want. That is really pigmented. And that is like the perfect color. Usually I don't like colors that claim to be an actual black color, but that is perfect. Now I'm going to see how it blends. Blendability is perfect. Sometimes I found that products are so blendable that when you go to blend, all of the product disappears, but that is not happening. And it's gliding onto the skin very easily. This is what the first brow looks like, not filled in, just outlined. I love this brow pencil. Honestly, this formula is a little bit more creamy than the Benefit First Impressions. I went ahead and quickly filled in the inside of my brows using my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade, and I have this in the color Ebony. Then I went ahead and quickly carved out the bottom of my brows using this L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Crayon Concealer. I like how the brows are looking. They're honestly a little bit darker than what they usually are, so I feel like they look a little bit more bold than usual. The reason that I really tend to stay away from straight up black eyebrow pencils is because I find that it's really easy for your brows to look like Sharpie brows. I try to go with something that's like an espresso color, black brown, but I don't feel like it looks super harsh. I feel like my brows actually look a little bit more clean than usual because they're a little bit darker. Also, when I go in with my pomade, I do not fill in the front of my brows. I found that that also helps the brows to look a little bit more natural. I really just fill in the tail. We're gonna go ahead and jump into eyeshadow, and I do have a new eye primer today. This is from ALAMAR Cosmetics, and this is their PRIMERO Long Wear Sticky Pigment Base. I'm gonna start with a little bit, and if I need to use more, I will. It's not super creamy. It definitely is more thick. Oh my gosh, but it is really sticky. This isn't the most pigmented thing that I've tried, but that's okay because it did do a little bit of concealing. If I'm doing like a super colorful poppy look, I will use something like the P. Louise base that is super full coverage. Versus today, we're doing a little bit more of a nude natural look. I don't find it necessary that all of my discoloration needs to be covered up. I am so excited to try these eyeshadow quads for you guys, just to show you guys what they look like. This one is Sparkler. This one is Bare It All, So Au Natural, Down to Earth, Free to Be, and lastly, She's a Natural. These are so perfect for not only travel, but also if you just want to do something super quick and easy. These quads have it to where you don't need to use more than one quad to create a look. Concept is very similar to me to the e.l.f. bite-size eyeshadows. Probably my favorite thing, first impression, about these eyeshadow palettes is the component that they come in. The component is completely clear all the way around. This is the Bare It All palette, and I'm going to go ahead and start with this color right here, just taking a big fluffy brush and blending that into my crease. I did a pictorial with the 5-pan eyeshadow palettes from ColourPop, and honestly, I wasn't very impressed. Like, they were okay, but they weren't awesome. But these seem to be actually doing a little bit better than, I feel like I'm getting the perfect amount of pigment. I'm surprised that they're blending out as easily as they are considering how sticky this eyeshadow base is. I know not everybody likes a sticky eyeshadow base, but personally, I usually will use a sticky base over a smoothing base, only because I found with sticky bases, your eyeshadow is going to last a little bit longer because it has something to adhere to like glue. I'm going to take a smaller size crease brush, and I'm going to use this color right over here. I want this to be more concentrated at my crease, so I'm not going to diffuse it up. And I found that this trick right here is awesome for people with hooded eyes. I'm not done blending it. I'm just placing the color first. Taking a clean, kind of medium-sized crease brush, I'm just going to diffuse that color and get rid of any harsh lines. And again, not sweeping up like I was with the other color, just going back and forth. Now this is the true test because I want to see how this black works. More dense crease brush, and I'm just going to place this black on the outer crease. Just taking another clean crease brush and just really focusing on blending the outer edge of that out. When you want to diffuse things, make sure that you're using a clean brush. If you're using a brush that already has color on it, it's gonna look muddy on the outside. It's not gonna look super pretty and diffused. Only one of these palettes that I have has more shimmery colors in it. We're gonna go ahead and use this one. This is the Sparkler palette. I wanna use this color out here. I'm gonna do one eye with my finger, other eye with a brush. I did have to build it up a little bit. It doesn't have as much shimmer in it as I would want it to. This would be perfect for everyday kind of more natural work makeup. It just looked a little bit more sparkly in the pan than it is on the eye. Just for kicks and giggles, I'm gonna go ahead and use this lighter color right here called Extra Bubbly. I never fail to mess at least one thing up in a video. I forgot that I was supposed to use my brush. This is what I like. This has a little bit more shimmer to it, a little bit more sparkle to it. They're very pigmented, very smooth. Blend the crease out a little bit. What I do to get a nice gradient from my black to my shimmer color is just push it over just a little bit. Now we have an eyeshadow topper, e.l.f. liquid eyeshadow, and this is in the color Medium. I'm gonna place this where I put the shimmery color on my lid. If you feel like your eyeshadow look isn't elevated enough, this will take it there. Okay, even better. Tell me you don't see the difference. While it dries, I raise my eyebrows because I do have hooded eyes, so I don't want a bunch of it to transfer over and then get up here. To be honest with you guys, these are good. And I love the fact that they come in so many different colors, but comparatively, I think that the e.l.f. bite-sized eyeshadows are just a little bit more pigmented. They're both great, affordable drugstore options. These are going to be a little bit harder to get your hands on because you have to order these online. They may have them in your Ulta. They don't have them in mine. I have a very limited selection of ColourPop in my Ulta. They're nice and I would continue to use them, but I will say the one thing that these do have over the e.l.f. eyeshadows is that these come in a lot more neutral colors. The e.l.f. eyeshadows, you have a lot more colorful options. Speaking of e.l.f., I went ahead and popped on these e.l.f. Line and Define eye tapes because we are going to do some eyeliner, BH liquid eyeliner, and this is in the color black. I prefer an eyeliner pen just because of my lash extensions. It's a little bit easier to use a pen than it is a wand component. This is what the tip looks like, so it's a little bit fatter on the end. I always start with my wing and I go short to long. Ooh, okay, that's really black. It is really black and I'm not having issue with pigmentation, but this is actually the first true felt tip that I've used. I prefer something that is a brush because you have a little bit more malleability, meaning a little bit more movement. This is just a little bit stiffer, so it's a little bit harder to go with the curvature of your eye. The second eye is always the true test because you see how much pigment is actually left on the pen without having to shake it again, but I think I'm gonna have to. You see what I mean? There's not as much pigment as there was over here. Ooh, literally little to no pigment. There's pigment in this fat part, but there's not a whole lot of pigment on the actual tip, which I am not a super fan of. I'm really having to press super hard. Products like this are not my vibe because I feel like they're not user-friendly and beginner-friendly at all. I'm not even gonna try to finish this eye with that liner. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this eye with my Maybelline Hyper Easy, which is like my favorite of all time. I tried my best to fix the situation that we had going on over here, but I'm telling you, I start with the wing because I think it is the most important part of the eyeliner because it depends if you want a more straight look, if you're going for a more curved look. It's important to do the wing first and then let your line follow suit. When I'm trying to start with a line and then do my wing, it messes me up. Hopefully I was able to accomplish something. Now onto my favorite part of makeup, which is the complexion. So we're gonna go ahead and start with primer water. I do not have a new one, so we're gonna go ahead and use this NYX multitasking spray. Neither of these primers are new for moisturizing / hydrating primer. I'm going to be using the SMASHBOX Primerizer Primer Moisturizer. This is like one of the only more lotiony type of hydrating primers that I like. I always use 2 primers. I always go in with a more hydrating primer first, then use my pore filling / mattifying primer, SHISEIDO Synchro Skin Soft Blurring Primer. And I really just focus this in my T-zone. I put the hydrating all over, and then this is more area targeted, and I need to start putting it on my chin. We do have a new foundation, and I am so excited to try this foundation. UOMA by Sharon C. Flawless in Real Life Skin Perfecting Foundation, and I got this in the color Brown Sugar T1. I guess that this is a sister brand to UOMA Beauty, and when I saw this in Walmart, I was very intrigued because it does come in a nice glass bottle, and it comes with a pump too. We love supporting a good Black-owned brand, and we do also have a new beauty sponge, which I'm so excited to try. I did have 2 of these, and I think my cats got their hands on my other one, and I can't find it. I always love trying new beauty sponges for you guys. This is the Dose of Colors makeup sponge. I'm not sure if this is the big one or the small one because I don't have the other one, but this is very super soft, and I love the fact that it's kind of more fat on the bottom because it has a bigger surface area for you to do your face. Super, super soft, which is like the #1 thing that I look for in makeup sponges. I really do not like using something super stiff because I feel like I'm like punching myself in the face. I'm shaking this foundation up a little bit because I've learned that you're better to be safe than sorry. It's a little bit yellow. I'm gonna wing it and try to make it work, but I already know that I'm not gonna like that. The shade is okay, it's just the undertone. So I'm gonna go ahead and do like 2 more pumps of this. I'm kind of excited because I haven't gotten to use this blue one on camera, I don't think. To neutralize the shade a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and use this LA Girl Foundation Mixing Pigment, and this is in the color blue. Take my beauty sponge. Still is a little bit yellow. So I would say that this is giving light to medium, which I usually prefer something that's a little bit more full coverage than this. Place a little bit more on the spots that need a little extra help. Medium coverage. Usually you'll get a little bit more coverage with a brush than you will a sponge. I haven't blended it out all the way, but initially it looks like I'm getting a lot more coverage. All that discoloration is pretty much gone. So I would say with a sponge, you're gonna get more light to medium, and then a brush is gonna give you more medium to full, which is what I prefer. It's super easy to blend out though. It looks very skin-like looking from far away. I wanna go ahead and see what it looks like up close. I'm not crazy about this color. I feel like I definitely should have added a little bit more of the mixing pigment. We're gonna make it work. Close, it looks really pretty. I mean, it's not hanging onto the skin weird. I definitely feel like I need to add a little bit more of this mixing pigment. I think I was just honestly rushing a little bit, which I don't know why. Definitely like the brush side a little bit more than the sponge side, just because you get a little bit more coverage. We're gonna go ahead and do concealer. I found that when I do concealer, it kind of usually helps with the way that the face is looking. I tried the foundation in my last video and was a fan. This is the Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue Concealer, and I have this in the color Dark 22. Has a huge doe foot applicator on it. I'm gonna go ahead and blend it out with a sponge on this eye. This point on this sponge is absolutely perfect. Ooh, okay, coverage, hello. I need to start reminding myself in the future to apply the concealer one eye at a time, because it is honestly the best way to see how much coverage the product actually has. That is beautiful. I love this sponge. I'm telling you, I don't even know why people bother to pay for a beauty blender anymore when you can literally get things that are better and cheaper. That is definitely full coverage. With concealer, if you use a brush, you are gonna tend to get a little bit more coverage. So I'm excited to see what this eye looks like. She is giving full coverage. That concealer has a really, really creamy, thin formula that looks beautiful underneath the eyes. I'm not gonna set underneath my eyes yet because we are gonna do some cream blush and some cream bronzer. Makeup by Mario. Soft Sculpt Shaping Stick. I have this in the color Dark Deep. I used his eyeshadow palette in my last full face of first impressions, and I was in love. I am in love. I'm still in love. I can't get over it. This is kind of unique. So you have to kind of like push up and twist at the same time. Ooh, that color is... Also want to do a little bit down here. especially with cream bronzer and cream blush, you want to do more of a stippling motion versus a swiping motion. A swiping motion is going to give you patchiness. But ooh, I put it a little bit lower over here, but I think my placement right here is perfect. I try to place it right above this part of my ear. I'm telling you, placement makes all the difference. So this versus this. 10 out of 10. Now we're gonna do cream blush. So excited to try this. This is the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Blush Palette. Tell me this isn't beautiful. I've told you guys over and over that Patrick Ta has one of my favorite cream and powder blush formulas. I think that I want to use this color right here. And I love the fact that it has this separator. The cream isn't super pigmented, but it does give a really pretty glow. It's just like a super pretty wash of color. Usually I'm like, ooh, I don't like products that aren't pigmented, but in this case, I love this because it's super versatile. So you have something that is a little bit more sheer, but then you can use that powder over top of it to really take it there. That is the prettiest wash of color. Now we can finally set underneath the eyes, and for the first time in history, I'm going to be using pressed powder underneath the eyes. This is the Laura Mercier Invisible Pressed Setting Powder in the color Invisible. So I wanted to go ahead and use this underneath the eyes. Things that are white scare me so much. So I'm gonna go ahead and just go over the under eye, which that concealer really didn't even need it because it didn't settle into my fine lines or anything. Just using a smaller powder brush. Ooh, actually colorless, which is nice, but it did give the slightest filtered effect to underneath the eyes. I want to go ahead and use my sponge to set underneath this eye over here. Okay, I honestly feel like I like the sponge side a little bit more. Then I am going to set all over the face with this Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish complexion powder, and this is in the color 3. I've tried 4, and this may be a little bit too light, honestly. 4 is too dark, so that's why I was contemplating if I wanted to use this underneath my eyes or all over the face. We're just gonna do a little patch test. And honestly, I feel like this is perfect for today. Ooh, okay, stop. Look at how filtering that is. I wanted to try this product again because I'd heard so many good things about it. It doesn't have a lot of coverage, but look at how filtered. This side and then this side. Okay, so we're back. It's been about 5 hours. I had to go run and meet a friend. It doesn't have a lot of coverage as in color and pigment, but it did such a good job at filtering my face when I showed you guys the before and the after. So it's been about 5 hours. My oil is breaking through right up here and here. So I wanna go ahead and see if I can touch up with this. Oh, wow. Not looking cakey from far away. I am gonna go ahead and look up close in a second. Look at how filtering this is. So this is the before, after. I'm wondering if I could possibly get more coverage with this if I used a powder puff, but I honestly don't even desire to use a powder puff with this powder, which is so weird because most of the time I really do not like powders if they don't have good coverage. But this is just so smoothing and filtering. I feel like my face looks exactly like it did when I first started this makeup look. I will say though, the one thing I don't like about this powder is the fact that it only comes in 4 shades. I want to go ahead and go back in with this. I'm going to use the darkest shade right here. Initially, this is a lot more pigmented than the cream is. It's a very pretty color. Patrick Ta never disappoints, but I loved the glow that cream gave to the skin. 10 out of 10. I love the fact that you get a lot of versatility with this product, so you can keep it really nice and simple and give yourself a light wash of color with these creams, or you can kind of amp it up with these powders. This is not a new product, but I'm gonna go ahead and set my face using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. Applying a little bit of highlighter. This is not new. This is the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude Glow highlighter. Before we move on to the lip and eye products, I did want to go ahead and swatch the original shade of this UOMA Beauty foundation and then what it looks like when you put a good amount of pigment in it. I was being a little bit too impatient. This is what the color difference is. So this is what the original looks like, and this is what it looks like with the correct amount of pigment that I should have used. I'm so excited to try these new eye pencils that I picked up at Sephora the other day. I swatched these and I just knew that it was game over. These are specifically the Sephora Collection retractable waterproof eyeliners. They have the product on one end and then there's a little smudger on the other end. The formula is so smooth and creamy. This is number 10, this is number 12, and this is number 26. Do this glittery color here on the end. I'm not sure how it's gonna look on the water, waterline. You can tell the difference from this eye to this eye. It's just a little bit more reflective over here. Just lighten the eye up a little bit. I just like tight lining because I think it kind of defines the whites of your eyes a little bit more. I went ahead and did a little bit of bottom mascara just using this L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black. So while we're on the eyes, I want to go ahead and finish the brows. I have been using the Juvia's Place brow gel and I misplaced it. I don't know where it is and it's the only brow gel that I have. So I wanted to go ahead and throw this in here. Arches and Halos by Tanya Crooks. This is the water resistant firm hold brow gel in the color Clear. I love how tiny the wand is on this. And I also like doing brow gel too because I think it actually gives your brow hairs come to life and pop off your face. I am loving how small this wand is. Last thing we have is lips, and I have all new lip products. So we're gonna go ahead and start with lip liner. ALAMAR Cosmetics lip liners, and I have the colors Coqueta and Divina. This color over here is Coqueta and this is Divina. Divina would be what I use on more of like an everyday basis, but since we have a pretty nude look, I feel like we can do this Coqueta color. Ooh, okay, that's really pigmented. Well, that is easily the most pigmented lip liner I have ever used. I'm gonna go ahead and do lipstick, and I do have two here. These are the Dose of Colored liquid lipsticks, and I have the color Cork and Heartbreaker. This is Heartbreaker and this is Cork. I think I wanna use Heartbreaker because I usually never use pinky nudes, but I feel like since we have a little bit more of a red undertone, it'll be a cute moment. Got a little bit of an ombre moment going on. It's a little bit lighter than what I like, but it's okay because we have a gloss and I think we can darken it back up. ALAMAR Cosmetics lip gloss, and I have this in the color Divina. Oh yeah, see, that's what I like. It's a little sticky, but it's pigmented. I'm gonna give the lip gloss an 8 out of 10 because it is a little bit sticky, but it has good pigment. And then I really liked this liquid lipstick. Very comfortable, not super drying and crackly, and very comfortable to wear on the lips. I really liked everything in today's video. I feel like the only thing that I really did not like was this eyeliner. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these products. If you would love to see more of these videos, lucky for you, I have a whole playlist filled with them that I will link right up here for you guys. If you guys have any specific products that you would like to see from me, please let me know down in the comments and I will try to fill your guys' requests. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the next one. Bye.